As we look forward to the 2020 season, Rangers Network is celebrating the 45th anniversary of Smithson Valley High School football by taking a look at monumental plays throughout Ranger history that form the building blocks that shape our foundation for success and weave the tradition that is Ranger football. Head coach Larry Hill has reunited the coaches and players to relive the magical moments one more time. Get your guns up for the year 2001.
Welcome, Ranger fans, to our second episode featuring the 2001 football season. The first time the Rangers had ever been to a state championship round. In episode 1, we featured a regular season thriller against Fredericksburg that ended in an overtime win and a quarterfinal win against Roosevelt that avenged a loss from the year before in the same round. So now we pick up today in the semifinals. There's 4 teams left, and Smithson Valley's among them, marking only the second trip to this round in school's history. It was an early afternoon game, very dreary, cold, kind of misty rain. It was up in Rice Stadium, and we're playing a very talented Nederland team. And the bus trip was even eventful. We had a 1 o'clock game there, and if you guys our players can recall, we only get down the road about an hour and the bus driver decides he needs to pull over and take a break. So we're a little late getting to the stadium, but that's okay. Our guys were ready to play. So we're going to start first by bringing the quarterback from that season on. It's Laren Bybee. He joined us last show. And Laren, welcome back. And on Wednesday of game week, this was a Saturday game up in Houston at Rice Stadium, as we mentioned. Tell us what happened in practice on Wednesday that made your status a little uncertain.
No, things change quick. I think what makes, this whole program special is we really don't have a pace that's half speed. I think the only time you do that is in your actual walkthroughs. And so even on a Wednesday before a Saturday game, state semifinals, we're going full speed in practice, and it's a collision-based sport. And we had a little bit of a snafu where one of our JV linemen was getting after it. Grant Sarter gave him some business, and I think tried to show him who's boss. But the end result was he kind of pushed him in my direction right as my knee had planted, and I blew my MCL out there. And honestly, it was the last play of practice. It was honestly a crazy situation.
Yeah. Well, I remember the trainer, Coach Petmek, he called me at home that night. This was the pre-cell phone era. And he said, Laren's torn his MCL. I said, well, is his other knee all right? Because he really needs to play, but you braced it. Missed the next day of practice. You braced it and played. And, I think a lot of guys have forgotten that. Those next 2 weeks couldn't have been very comfortable, but you played extremely well. Garrett Keller's another senior on our 2001 team. Garrett's with us today. Garrett, what do you remember about our arrival at Rice Stadium and our walkthrough there when we got to the stadium? It was a little unusual.
Yeah, Rice Stadium's a very nice stadium, one of the nicer ones we'd been to. And we walk in through the tunnel, and all of a sudden we look, and their entire fan base is there already, hooting and hollering. They're pretty amped up. And
we'd never had a crowd for a walkthrough before.
No.
But, they weren't cheering for the Rangers either. If I recall. So, well, we turned the ball over early, and they advanced down to the red zone, but our defense holds them and forces a missed field goal. But we're sputtering a little bit. Both teams are kind of trading kicks. So as we go to the film, we need something to get us going. And much like the Roosevelt game and the Fredericksburg game before, we turned to our quarterback, Laren Bybee, and Mike Pavelic, our wide receiver on the team. And as we go to the tape, Mike's feet are kind of sticking in the top of the screen there. You can see Mike, and Laren is our quarterback. Laren, take us through this play. I'm gonna let it run.
I still think I'm the luckiest guy, because when Clint Haney's your running back, he is the ultimate, decoy on these type plays. So anytime you're doing a fake pass, you're bringing in safeties. The linebackers are eating on it because they need every chance they can get to get up on Clint. So with a play action like this, it pulls people down, and Mike Pavelic's got the speed to get by anybody.
Well, now, Mike, the play before, we had thrown this exact pass incomplete, but we went right back to it. We felt good about the matchup. Take us through what you're trying to do with the corner out there, Mike.
If I remember correct, it was a jack, and so trying to get by him and didn't happen very often, but just trying to create some space between me and the corner, and knowing that if I did that with Laren, the way he threw the ball, just any space he'd get the ball to me.
Well, you can see we've got a 2 tight end set, which is a favorite run set for us. We do fake the ball to Clint, like Laren said, and you can see the safety and the linebacker committing to the run. Okay. Center feet, got great pocket there. Great throw. And we really don't beat him by much, but you mentioned there's the cornerback right there. As the ball drops out of the sky, there's a perfectly thrown ball. And as I said, the cornerback's right there. Great catch by Mike. And right here, Mike, what are you thinking? Can I make it the rest of the way? Or?
Yeah. I'm hoping that he falls down because I didn't know if I was going to outrun him.
Well, you did outrun him, and that got us going. You know, like I said, we kind of sputtered. We're up 7-0. We pull away a little as the game goes. We've got about a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. If we can get one more and make it a 3-score game, we're going to play in state championship. And we're going to bring Clint Haney back. We've got a 4th down on their 39-yard line. And Clint, what's this play called?
I think it was 4-wheel is what we had said earlier. It's just fake the handoff, roll out the other way, and throw it back. And I can remember, I was so wide open that when the ball was in the air, I looked up, I saw the ball, I looked down, I saw that defender, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, do not drop this. Do not drop it.
Well, that's what I was thinking when the ball was in the air. Do not drop it. Yeah. So we're going to fake to you first. Okay, as the play unfolds, we're going to fake to you, and then our receivers, that's Juan, drawing a blank, Juan Garcia and Cody Powell, they're going to go up and in to draw the defenders to the middle of the field. We fake, and then Clint's going to get in their wake and go up the sideline. Laren, what are you thinking about right here?
Well, the beauty is what Clint's saying. He was so open. We had previously done plays like this, and it worked because of my limited mobility. We hit Ryan Bruner on a crossing route with this same kind of structure earlier in the game. And so we'd shown success with these kind of wheel style. So right. you turn around and you see Clint, and it's a good deal as long as you get the ball to him. So it worked out just.
Oh my. That puts it away, fellas. It's cold and misty, but that puts it away. And we're going to play in state championship game. Smithson Valley had never done that. We're 14-0, and of course, we're going to run up against an opponent that's 14-0, and we're playing Denton Ryan. That was back in the days. Now all the state championship games are at a central site, and everybody plays their games together. Back then, you met at a neutral site. You were the only game being played, and we met in Waco at the Waco ISD field. And 2 teams that were 14-0, as I mentioned, and it's going to end up being the most exciting state championship game maybe in history up to that point. It's going to be the first one ever to go into overtime, and it was back and forth most of the way, as most games of that nature are going to be. They scored first, but as we go to the tape, we put a drive together, about a 12-play drive, and we're going to run the football. Clint's going to go on the left side over there, get a little block from Mike Pavelic, get it in the end zone, tie the game up. And then after that, we do something that we've done a number of times at Smithson Valley through the years. We're going blue kickoff. It's 7-7. They've got some dangerous return guys, but we're going to cross-field kick this. Hang it up. Reagan Schneider hangs it up in the air. The ball is dropped, as you can see. Looks like he gets on it, but it squirts out from under there. And then Whit Outlaw, 21 for us. Whit kind of squirms in there somehow. And of course, our sideline, we're trying to referee for the guy, but he gives us the ball. The quarter ends shortly thereafter. We turn it around, and Clint's going to, that's Laren throwing the lob pass. That's Josh Gregory, 84. You can see the ball being thrown up into the corner of the end zone, just perfectly thrown. Josh makes a big catch. Josh, about 6'6", big, tall, wide receiver, makes a great catch in the corner of the end zone. And now we're ahead. But they scored to tie it. And now when we come out and they score to tie it, we run the kickoff back to the 18-yard line. Laren, Bobby, our quarterback, Mike Pavelic, our receiver who we've had on. You're fixing to strike gold here, Mike. What do you think when we call this play? You got any inkling what's going to happen?
No, I think like Laren said earlier, it's a play action to Clint, and so just anytime you have that threat, it gives you an opportunity to get behind somebody. And it was a post route that, again, just the play action suckered him in and ended up being wide open. And
see, we fake right, roll left. You're getting behind the safety about now. Laren's looking up, and oh my.
What a throw.
What a throw.
What a throw, what a dart. Starting to rain. It's wet and cold that day. It never quits raining from about here on. But let's look at that play again, and we'll hear it from Laren's point of view this time. Laren, you, like you said, play action first.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I wouldn't think that before the play you're hoping for what the result was. And, you know, Clint brings them in, we roll back, and you can see, I mean, all kinds of time. There really was just an incredible amount of time.
Good fake, but you and Clint, and you're rolling back left. Mike, meanwhile, has run from the top of the screen down below, and then right here you're thinking probably, oh, wow, he's open. So, Mike, fortunately, you were way out ahead of him. You didn't have to outrun him too much. That's a good thing. So, yeah. But Ryan responds and scores and ties it, and actually they score again to go up 28-21. But we get the ball back, got a chance to tie. We're in the second half now. Just running the football right at them a little bit, using our big guys right there. That's Cody Powell and Mike Hernandez getting a great push. Look how far back their defensive end is blown. That gives Clint a big lane, and he makes a cut inside, runs through a tackle or two, gets in the end zone, and now we're tied. And then let's do something fun on the kickoff again. You know, why not, right? We're looking over at the bench. We're going to bloop kick again. This time the ball doesn't hit the ground. This time they field it. This guy's not a guy that fields the ball much. Juan Garcia, number 7, makes a big hit right there. Ball comes out as Zach Conway, number 15, jumping in there on it. And we've got the football. It's tied in the fourth quarter, and early in the third quarter, I should say. Clint runs again over on the left side this time. Brandon Fanning, Mike Pavelik, a couple other guys block, spins out of a tackle or two, gets it in the end zone. And so, you know, we take the lead, but then they tie it. And now we're inside of a minute to go in regulation. We're going to bring Garrett Keller back. They've got a chance with a touchdown or a field goal to win and end this thing in regulation. We get a little pressure here. Garrett, take us through it here. Get some pressure.
Well,
he's launching that thing down the middle. Where are you?
Hopefully next to the receiver.
Well, that's the idea.
As we progressed more and more through the season, all the teams went more to spread offenses, and we were doing everything we can to stay next to him.
Right. Great job of elevating you and him. Ball comes out incomplete. So they're going to try a field goal. I think everybody in the stadium is holding their breath, me included. They kick it, and they make it, they win. They miss it, we're going to overtime. Clint, you're on the field here. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm at the bottom, and I typically wasn't on field goal block, but I can. I think it was Worsty that I kept bugging. I was like, I know I can get in there and block it. So this is
y'all took the slow, strong safety off and put in the running back to try to block the last field goal of the year. That was going to be the one I got to.
Yeah, that was it. Well, Clint, let's see what happens.
I don't think we blocked it, but we gave them enough pressure to where they missed it. And that was if we saw that one again, that Dab had a collision right there just about at his feet.
Yeah. Well, when you're playing for your life, that's the way it is. So, all right, we're going to overtime here, Garrett. We're going to bring you back in overtime. They're trying to make a big throw down there. It's the second play of overtime. A good pressure.
This is what you live for when you're a strong safety.
Yeah, what's fixing to happen here? They're bringing a post route right to you.
Now, this is what you live for when you're safety. Guys going for the ball, not looking at you, looking at the ball, and you hit him so hard he drops it.
Yeah, big hit. Ball goes flying. You know, they'd eject you now for targeting in this day and age. But big hit. Unfortunately, a play or two later, they do get a big play and score, and we're unable to match that score in overtime. And, you know, as people who have followed our game know, we end up losing the football game. And, disappointing end to just such a memorable season. Two 14-0 teams going at each other. One ends 15-0. Smithson Valley falls just short of its quest for a state championship. And as we bring all of our guys back now, let's be just, get some insight maybe on that. Let's start with you, Clint. Obviously you did some great things here. Of course, signed with the University of Texas and enjoying their program. But let's get off of that for a minute. What did 2001 mean to you then, and maybe what does it mean to you now?
It's a part of your life that I'll never forget. I mean, it was so much fun with the group of guys that we had, and just the camaraderie that we shared with one another, and just I know me and a lot of the other guys. You try to be humble and not be cocky, but every time we stepped out on the field, we were confident. That I never felt like we were out of it, or we were underdogs. I never felt that. I always thought that when we stepped out on the field, we were the best team and we were going to win.
Good times. Mike Pavelik, a junior year, you're a backup tight end, a sometimes fullback. Don't play a ton of snaps. We mentioned earlier, Cody Fuller graduates, and we're looking for somebody to fill his shoes at wide receiver. But you go on and catch 83 balls as a wide receiver. Did you see that coming, Mike?
No, sir, not at all. But going back to it, like I mentioned before, with Laren as quarterback and having somebody that can throw you the ball, with Clint and the really just the offense in general that we had that year with the offensive line. I mean, there was something special there, and so it was just a matter of being part of the unit and kind of doing your job. And just can't say enough about, like what Clint said, just being part of that and just that confidence level as you walk onto a field and a play's coming your way and just do your part, get open and catch the ball is really what it came down to. And a lot of good players around that made that happen.
Well, now Garrett Keller will bring you back. You played banged up a lot that year. Shoulders hurting a little bit. There were times when you were a little bit limited. 19 years later, was it worth it?
Oh yeah, that was the time of our lives playing Ranger football. As I look back and think of all the coaches that made an impact on all of our lives. I just got to watch Coach Mooch's retirement ceremony. Had a tear in my eye watching it. You guys, Laren told me one time, he summed it up very nicely. You guys are like father figures to us. And I know you impacted all of us, going forward, impacting our lives and decisions we make. And I think we're all good. We're good young men because of you guys, a lot to do with you guys growing up and making decisions in our lives. So we thank you for it.
Yeah, well, thank you. Chris Dabbs, you were a junior on this team. How did that 2001 experience help you? And then you and your returning teammates transitioned to 5A in 2002 and another return trip to the state finals. How did 01 affect 02?
I think the biggest thing was, and I still, like the guys were saying, this is something that'll be a part of me forever. And, I still, I think we owe a lot of it to that senior class. I mean, you got these guys on the phone now, but there were a lot of others. And it was never, you never felt like you were the junior on the team, if that makes sense. I mean, these guys made you feel like we were a family. And I can remember after football games, after Saturday morning practices, I was going off with Haney and Keller and all those guys, and we were going off to Keller's farm. And we really did. We created a great bond. And I think what that allowed us juniors that were going to be seniors the following year, as you said, we carried that over, and we made sure that we followed in their footsteps in that leadership and making sure that that we kept those juniors, that they didn't feel like they were underclassmen to us senior year. And I think that's what allowed us to make that bump up and make another trip back to state. So,
well, now, Chris, you were a two-sport guy. That's becoming a little bit more of a dying art in this day and age, sadly. But you played football and baseball at Smithson Valley, and of course played the state tournament in baseball and played college baseball. You and Michael Pavelik, who we just had on and just spoke to, two sporting at Smithson Valley. Pretty cool thing.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The best thing I thank my parents every day for making that move out to Bulverde. So I didn't have to go to that other school, Reagan, and not get to experience any of this. But no, it was. It's something that I talk to my kids about now, and even my wife, and she kind of rolls her eyes here and there. But as soon as we're off this, I'll go show her all these highlights and all the guys again. So it's been great.
Well, Larry and Bobby led us all year long. 2-year starter, showed a lot of great courage playing those last 2 games with that knee. But do you think of this season, this team, often?
I do. I'm fortunate to have relationships with a whole lot of the guys that we played on, and I think that's a testament to the relationships that we established. I got Chris Dabbs sending me care packages, and Garrett and Clint, every time I'm back in town, we're spending time together. It's a special bond we've created, and I think that it can't be replicated. It only can be kind of forged in some of these situations that your staff put us through, and we're all thankful because of it.
Well, thank you, and thank all 5 of you guys for being on with us today and reliving that special 2001 season. The 2001 Smithson Valley Ranger football team, one that will be remembered throughout history. 121501. It's more than just a series of numbers. It was a stated goal. Had a bunch of young men who relentlessly pursued that goal, and they played on December 15th, 2001. Thank y'all all for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.